Elaborate, please, because that sounds so definitive. But when you say it's over, you mean
They're working on technology that's going to replace the human race pretty much.
And it's
Point
almost done.
less than a half of 1% of any employee in any of these buildings are black people.
it's true?
Less than probably 3% of black people, period, are even aware or even concerned in the least bit of what's happening. Like I said, that's why it's like even after a while, like you arguing with people online and you trying to say like, it's got to be tiring. But more important, it's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing because when we go there, there's 5 black people and everybody's like, yo, like, it's like, how did you get the key to heaven? But it's actually embarrassing. Like I said, shout out to New Era Detroit. He was like, y'all more concerned with Big Meech's paperwork than your son's schoolwork.
Yep.
And that's a fact. Our priorities, talking about who Chloe Bailey is dating and just a bunch of random nonsense and Adam 22 and all of that. Like, now they have life-changing technology that's being developed that we have no input on at all. We're not aware of any of it. And we're just going to be casualties and victims. And it's over for America.
Usually Monday through Friday, maybe Monday through Saturday, usually I work out. You know what I mean? I keep a good little regimen and always have. I don't feel right unless I'm like, if I get a workout. And that's how I like compartmentalize my thoughts, get my aggression, my frustration, all that shit out, right? So yesterday being Monday, it's Market Mondays. And I follow this shit called Earn Your Leisure. I don't know how many y'all out there, if y'all familiar with Earn Your Leisure, let me know down in them comments. But Earn Your Leisure has been going on for quite a few years. I remember when they first started, and man, I've watched them grow and blossom into a steamrolling business company. A Vest Fest in Atlanta. And it's motivational because I remember when they first started. I remember their first IG, their first little podcast, YouTube, all that shit. It's crazy how much can be accomplished in time, right? But I was listening to Earn Your Leisure last night, and they had went to this Nvidia super conference that, I don't know if all y'all are familiar, but Nvidia is one of the chips that power a lot of the AI that's going to be coming out here in the very near future. And when we talk about AI, I've touched on it on its channel a few times, but the AI is almost smarter than humans, right? Because it's pulling all the data, it's crunching, the algorithms are the way that it thinks, and they've got AI now, the AI robots that are so smart. They can reason, they can logic, they can do all this shit in real time, just like a human. And now a lot of people will say, okay, well, this is going to be the end of humanity. This is what we've seen in the movies. And you're right. This is really what's coming down the pipeline in the next few years. Till it gets here, this is still being built, so there's much opportunity, and there's millions and billions of dollars, right now being made and flooded into from all the AI niches, right? From AI agents to AI creation on here and so forth. But the people on Market Mondays, Ian and his partner Rashad, I feel like it was, they went to the Nvidia conference that they just had, and they made a statement in the video that resonated with me, and I got to thinking, and it's crazy, and I wanted to share with all y'all out there worldwide, right? Is that, we be on this internet worried about Big Meech Paperwork, Big U, all this shit. I'm just as guilty of it. I stay up to the current events and all that shit. I surely do. But they said, why everybody's out here is worried about that over in China, in these other places, they're worried about building AI, the algorithms, the programs, the coding language, all that shit. Their kids are learning that, and at some point, they're gonna have that gap ahead of us in the U.S., right? That we can't come back from, that learning gap right there. And their kids, you gotta think about it, is way further ahead. And I wonder sometimes, is this by design though, right? Is this by design? Is this by the fact that the U.S. and the algorithms that they, in the content they feed us, is to kind of like dumb us down, right? Because I don't ever really, as much as I like to say I love our government, I know our government doesn't always work in the best of our favor though, right? You know, we don't know what kind of experiments, we don't know all the things. There's many things that we don't understand in looking at traditional life, right? We look at the 9 to 5, the school system. You know, this is a society that's built from the ground to produce workers out here, though. This United States is to produce a worker, produce a worker, produce a worker. It's not to produce a thinker, somebody that uses their brain like that. You feel me? But yeah, they said that they was talking about how the kids would be advanced and how that learning gap would be there. And you know, I thought it was just so real. You know what I mean? Because
now they have life-changing technology that's being developed that we have no input on at all. We're not aware of any of it, and we're just going to be casualties and victims. And it's over for America, because most of the employees at these companies are Chinese and Indian. So much so, they said that sometimes in the Zoom calls, they have full Zoom calls in Mandarin.
In Mandarin. Department-wide.
I don't think people understand. Like, this is alarming.
Yes.
At very high level. At a very, very high level. Like, you see, America finally won the World Math Championship for high school, and every kid on the team is Chinese. We are getting dumber as a society.
By design.
And it's alarming. And China has a plan in place to take over the world. You know, I'm with a lot of smart people these days, and I'm getting a lot of information. I'm learning things. And you know, China, the CCP has a whole propaganda campaign called Spamiflage. So, you know, I just realized it today, because when I go on Instagram, I just see all these positive Chinese posts. It's like China built 37 hospitals, China, like. But then I started to get the information, like China got a lot of internal problems. The negative birth rate, the economy is pretty much on eggshells, but you never hear any of this stuff. Like all of this stuff on Meta. So what China is doing is that they're actually funding the dysfunction in America. So you see people like Margie, what's her name? Margie, the senator,
Margie Green.
Margie Green. How does she get 1 million followers? If you don't really think about that, like no politician really has that many followers. Like they got all these they're promoting dysfunction in America. That's why they really wanted Trump to win. They're promoting dysfunction in America because they understand that we're just tearing up our society. But on Meta, if you look at like Instagram, you're only going to see positive Chinese posts. It's like you go to the wealth page and all that. It's like, oh, China just built this railroad. China just did this. It's positive propaganda that they're pushing to enhance their world perception. The crazy thing about that is that Meta is not even allowed in China. How you take over a U.S. app? They took over a U.S. app to shape the narrative for their country, to create dysfunction in our country. The app's not even allowed inside of their country. I'll be honest with you. It's getting to a point where it's going to be so far, the gap is going to be so wide, you're not going to be able to catch up. And by the time you realize that you're not going to be able to catch up, it's over. The game is over with. It's over with. And when I say like the game is over with, like the game is over. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Lights out, permanent underclass, like that's what I'm saying. It's like we got to take this a little bit more serious. The things that we're concerned about are not important at all. That's why like this year InvestFest, artificial intelligence is a main theme. We're gonna have like 6 workshops to teach. Like, we're going to technology is the most important thing that we need to be focused on right now. Everything else is a distraction. Technology, entrepreneurship, and investing. If those are the 3 most important things right now. China is teaching artificial intelligence in primary school. When New York State is banning ChatGPT, we're moving the exact opposite direction. They're teaching 5th graders and 3rd graders artificial intelligence. You can go through a whole master's program and never learn artificial intelligence in America at all.
We were speaking to there's a HBCU that just got artificial intelligence as a bachelor's degree. It's the first one.
Yeah.
Like we always talk, obviously people look at us and they think wealth gap. Now this is the information gap and the technological gap that is there is no coming back from that. right? And yes,
And
it's cool that we invest. Great. But we need people inside. Like we need people who are going to have large language models. Who are going to create them. We're going to need a robotics engineer. We're going to need a humanoid engineer. We're going to need a synthetic biology. We need people in these spaces because if it is created without us, there is no imprint from us. Like, and that's the seriousness of it. Like when we talked to Robert Smith, it's the same thing. If we're not part of the process in creating, we're left out. Straight up.
These are the areas of life that still have the, you know, the informal curve still coming, right? The learning curve is still being etched out right now. But during that etching out process right there, there's a lot of opportunity for you, for me. And, you know, Nvidia's been around forever. I remember when I was young, Nvidia was like the top flight computers that you could get for gaming and all that shit. Now, fast forward all these years, now they're gonna be the walking, talking, thinking robots and the AI that powers the world. Right now, Nvidia stock is only at $120 right now. You know what I mean? Down from like, I feel like 140, 150 for the all-time high. But, you know, right now is a good time probably to buy Nvidia. You catch it on a good little pullback and get in there. It was just at 100. Imagine you would have got in there at 100 and have some options 6 months out. 10 grand would have made you way over 100,000 by now. But at the end of the day, you know, we got to start teaching our kids, young cats, you know, these are areas for y'all that y'all could get interested in and pour your time and energy in and really produce something really good about that right there. Really change your family. You could change the narrative of your entire family as you know it, generations on generations right now, by learning some of these things, the AI, the coding, all that shit right now. That's the next wave. That's the shit that's coming down the pipeline. That's how you get ahead of the game right there. You could change a whole bunch of people's lives. Meanwhile, all this deception that we looking at in the news and the media and the music and shit like that is leading motherfuckers off that track though, right? They want a motherfucker to bang a color in an area, in a place, and all that shit right there. They want you to swerve off course. That's what they want you to do. This is what this shit out here is designed for you to do, is swerve off course. Get into the system, catch a gun case, you know what I mean? Get caught up in the government so they got more control over you. Now they got a reason to be able to pull your blood whenever, fingerprint you, you know what I mean? Or lock you up if you STG'd. But, you know, the shit get real out here. And this AI shit is really the next wave coming down the pipeline. Hopefully this video inspires y'all to kind of look into some more of that shit right there. I just want to share my point of view and my thoughts on it. Y'all can let me know down in the comments what y'all think about it. And y'all know the program. If y'all made it this far in the video, man, show a little bit of love before you get up out that door. Hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it. And sub up if you want to see what's next up. And I'll match y'all on the next one.
Complete real-time simulation. This is how we're going to train robots in the future. Look how smart you are. Yes, you're smart. Okay. All right. Hey, Blue, listen. How about let's take them home? Let's finish this keynote. It's lunchtime. Are you ready? Let's finish it up. We have another announcement. You're good. You're good. Just stand right here. Stand right here. Stand right here. All right, good. Right there. That's good. All right, stand.